those who need it will be able to access it and use it. Then other big question that came up is the whole structuring of the curriculum and the revision of duration that was done from 20 weeks to 16 weeks with the kind of how do you divide this in a meaningful way so that the students benefit, and they also have some space to reflect and to refine and correct things. How do you build in contact, field contact, live experiences in the field, not just studio type of work. And another big question, especially at the postgraduate level, was that how do you make sure that student interest is not dulled? That somebody may come with very specific interest. I want to do this particular area, and we then take them through all kinds of regular. That means, how is it possible to build some kind of elective kind of program within this? Because electives have their own difficulty in terms of faculty planning and support system and all that. But can the institute cope with it? Can we build something out of it and so this student interest versus standardized course modules, how do you balance these two and build up? And there's some reflection on the kind of nature of faculty organization within the institution. And documentation, the discussion was that it is not only to look at book type of document, maybe there is a need to strengthen some other resources like video and audio and things like that, which may be far more useful, but it means new skill sets for the institution, new facilities, and maybe many new things which we are not yet addressing. So infrastructure and other issues needed and skill sets needed will need to be taken. Yet another issue was there that, in terms of convenience of management, some of the people over here are experienced academics and they may be able to contribute to this question, is that how do you move from chunk-based modules of education? Many design schools follow this because of convenience of faculty-centric planning. If I get a visiting faculty from Delhi, they are available for 3 days, 3 weeks, or a short contiguous chunk of time, but they will teach a course during that time. Whereas that course may require a division of time across the whole semester. The student assimilates far more if the same course is divided. But then how do we create and encourage new kinds of resources? Does it mean that the internal faculty strength has to be enhanced? There are cost implications here, there are many other implications. Can we address some of these things and suggest ways that we can take this forward? And opportunities and openness to audit courses within and outside inter-institutional things. Can you give suggestions where internal faculty can grow through auditing courses elsewhere also? I mean, it's possible that institution can build linkages with particular course somewhere else, which is being done very well, and a particular faculty can go, whether it is in India or overseas, wherever it might be, that this kind of experience would strengthen a particular area of work. If you have such suggestion, then yet another area that we did discuss was, which is, we don't have an answer yet, for why are these documents only in English? Why not in Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, and in Orissa and all that? That means we are now looking at language skills, sir, new problems for you and new kind of challenges that will come up.
Just basically only the documents in both Hindi and English.
Great.
The students will learn the program.
So that is, I think, encouraging news. But the whole issue is because we are pan-Indian institute, and to take that leadership position, this will become a critical thing. And this, although we did think about it many years ago, but thinking about it and bringing it to verge of implementation is today, perhaps we are closer to it than we ever were before. We need to look at new ways of creating exchange programs with other institutions, and through this process learning work ethics that would need work ethics in the sense that how do you build an academic culture that is vibrant and ongoing. People are excited and interested in their work. Then the big question of who are we came up. That is, we are calling soft material, hard material and fired material. The world doesn't understand this, but it's an internal convenience that some of these strategies were adopted because they have similar working processes, similar tools and similar kind of skill sets. because orthographic drawing is taught to the hard material group, whereas certain other kind of drawing may be taught more to the soft material people, which is knitting, weaving, the spinning, things like that. It is a textile oriented thing. And fired material people have yet another way. It's fluid material, it's flowing material. You can't draw in orthography. The engineering language doesn't really work there. So this is the logic when that whole thing was set up. Do you think we should continue it? Should we rethink? Are there any new ideas, any new innovations here? My personal view is it is good to have this kind of ambiguity, and because we have to find our answers within the ambiguity. But we know what we are doing. As long as we know what we are doing, don't worry too much about the terminology. It's already there. Or you will establish the terminology for others also. You don't have to follow the engineering college is doing this kind of specialization, so we must also offer that. There's no need for that, but I think we are open to feedback on this. And how do we move the person from the entrant profile to a graduate profile, and what does that mean? Then we also looked at the other new programs that are being proposed, including a program in merchandising and marketing, because these are areas that have not yet found root. But I can tell you there are two key programs that are growing in the pipeline. One is literally a school of technologies, where technology will be taken up as a major area. Other one is the marketing and management area, which have not been addressed all these years, where design was the driver, because design is an integrated form in which these come through, into where these are integrated. But that may not be enough. When you want to work at the policy level, when you want to work at many other levels, you may need to have other skills to be brought into the institution. And there are people on the, working on it in terms of new this thing. So I think the issues of what they need in terms of facilities and things like that. So this was discussed, and the question of what kind of differences that we need in the crafts, and a mapping of all these crafts. I think on the whole, yesterday's discussion was of a very high caliber, and I think all the people who were there in yesterday's thing, you can add if you wish as we go forward, and we would urge both the internal faculty as well as the visiting people to contribute and build our strength as we go forward. But we will document what we are doing, what we are speaking here. We will see that it's available, and we can then build on it as we go forward. Thank you for this opportunity you have given me, Dr. Bharadwaj, and I am indeed privileged to be here today speaking to all of you. Thank you very much.